With the change over the years, the game of Football Manager has changed. The match engine has been tweaked, and some of these roles and duties are now playing slightly differently within the engine. And today we revisit role guides, and we're going to take a look at the RAUMDEUTER and see how to get the best out of this role. My name is Daljit. Welcome to the show. If you're looking for guides on the game Football Manager, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to take a look at a role called the RAUMDEUTER. I don't intend to make this very complicated. If you want to follow me streaming and you want to ask further questions, I'm streaming on YouTube's Daljit's Moments, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You can even bring your tactics in on Wednesdays and we'll give it a go. Yes, the RAUMDEUTER. In earlier versions of the game, I hardly ever recommended this as an attacking option, but in FM22, this role has become a very good attacking option from wider areas. Essentially, this is a role that looks for spaces, it operates between the spaces, and it can come in on defender's blind side because of the way the role moves and operates in the final third. Since this role loves to explore spaces, he can be quite an interesting option depending on the kind of player you have. With Aston Villa, I used Emiliano Buendia occasionally as a RAUMDEUTER in some matches where I wanted a player from a wider position to investigate space, find himself in space, and use his killer ball trait to unlock space on the opposite side of the pitch. So there are many ways you can use a RAUMDEUTER. He can be a goal scoring option, or he can even be a creative option. The reason why he can be a creative option in the game, if he's got good decision making, vision, and passing attributes, then because his passing risks haven't been locked, hard-coded in to take either more risk or less risk, this player will use his decision making attribute and traits to influence the way he plays. Now, within the game itself, it says that the RAUMDEUTER hardly likes to come back and defend, but you also have the option to give him mark tighter. This allows you to tell the RAUMDEUTER to stay closer and close off the passing lanes to a potential fullback. Furthermore, you can even ask the RAUMDEUTER to mark specific players or mark specific positions. This means different things for different people. FM22 and FM21 are different games. In FM22, even attacking duties can sometimes come back and help you defend, depending on your line of engagement and your mentality. This means that you can even give the RAUMDEUTER specific position marking, asking him to mark a specific opposition player and remove him as a potential passing outlet. There are some key attributes that stand out for RAUMDEUTERs, and nothing more so than footballing intelligence. A RAUMDEUTER needs anticipation, he needs off the ball, he needs to know when to go into the right areas on the pitch. Then we go for first touch and acceleration. This allows us to find a player that can quickly get into position and then control the ball. Now, those are the baseline attributes we want for our RAUMDEUTER. If we want a RAUMDEUTER to go score goals, he'll be finishing and composure. If we want him to be a creator, where he's going to unlock space on the other side and find a goal scoring option out wide, then we want crossing, we want passing, we want vision, we want decisions, and we want flair. Don't fall into a trap thinking that certain roles need certain attributes all the time, because different attributes give a role a different flavor. If you played a Carrillo who gets into opposition area, has great off the ball, long shots and technique, then you potentially get a Carrillo who will end up at the edge of the area trying to score goals from outside the box. If he gets into opposition areas, then you get a Carrillo who will be a one-box player. He will work occasionally to attack the opposition box, but he will never end up in your own box helping you defend. So roles and duties always operate slightly differently depending on the attributes that are in play. Traits are going to give your role a lot of flavors, and whenever I use different players in a position, they're going to give me different things. So here we've got a creative RAUMDEUTER. He may not score a lot of goals, but he's going to help create a lot of them. Here I have another example of a player who uses a RAUMDEUTER. People are probably going to scoff at me because he doesn't have great finishing or composure, but look at his other attributes. He's got fantastic off the ball. He's got phenomenal flair. He's got acceleration to beat past the players. He's got agility and balance, which means he doesn't get thrown off when he dribbles past players. So when he attacks the space and gets the ball, it's very, very hard for him to lose the ball. He can not only create chances for the rest of his players by beating players with the dribble, if he's lucky enough, he can also score goals if he's in good positions. What can I do to improve this player's attributes? Well, I would work on improving his composure, decisions, and maybe finishing. He's already working on finishing. All we have to do with this player is work on final third. So his composure and his decision making get worked on and improved as well. The RAUMDEUTER is always looking for space. It's very important to have decent players in a team who are able to pass the ball. Some of your passes might even be long passes. Here you can see our defenders looking for him with long passes. Our playmaker here looking for him with the long pass. To create goal scoring opportunities for RAUMDEUTERs need space to attack. Here we've got the ball in defense. My RAUMDEUTER is in this wider position. I've got a role that's potentially pinning back these two players, and I've also got another role here that's potentially pinning this role back. Then we've got one player from a central position. He's going to attack this space, potentially pulling the DM out of position, giving the RAUMDEUTER or the role over here a chance to attack the space. There are multiple ways we can do this. We can use a role to pull a defender away. That means we are using a lot of we are trying to generate a lot of vertical movement in the final third. This requires better players of the caliber of Manchester City, where you got players who can move between the lines. You got multiple roles with fantastic off the ball movement. You can patiently probe your way into a goal scoring opportunity. In that kind of a setup, you're looking at a striker who's playing on support duty, like an F9 or a DLF on support, and then you have a RAUMDEUTER that's attacking the space with multiple players causing havoc in the defensive third. But with this Aston Villa side playing the Europa Cup final, we didn't have that option. We don't have a lot of fantastic players in the club, so I did something different. I have a role here that pins the defender back so that the defenders know that there's a player coming close. We've got another role pinning this player back. And finally, our RAUMDEUTER gets into the space. You can see now this defender is going to be attracted to the center. As he moves towards the center, the RAUMDEUTER is attacking the space between the lines. This defender is already being pulled away by this role over here. And the moment this player brings the ball forward, the RAUMDEUTER is already in the inside, or rather between the channel where I want him to be. And he attacks the channel immediately. This player has been pulled away by this role. The ball was drifted in from the right. This role has attracted this player, and now they get into the space and he scores the goal. This is the setup that I used for RAUMDEUTER. Here we use the poacher, which is a very simple role. He's going to be in and around the box. He doesn't drift into the channels, so the defenders are always going to be on him. Because if I use the role that moved into the channels as a striker, he would have potentially run wide to join the player on the flanks. That would have brought him clashing with the RAUMDEUTER. So I wanted a role that didn't move into the channels, stayed central and kept those two defenders occupied. This would give the RAUMDEUTER a 1v1 chance against the fullback. If he has the pace and the acceleration, he can get past him. All he needed to do was receive the ball. Then with his dribbling, his acceleration, he'll beat the player, get into the box. With his flair, he will either score a goal or he'll create a goal scoring opportunity for someone else. On the other flank, we're using a wide target man, which is a simple role. Let's talk about this tactic. This is one way of creating a RAUMDEUTER setup. Now I've got a RAUMDEUTER, but what is key here is the poacher. I'm using a very simple role that keeps defenders occupied. He's going to stay in the box. The defenders will always have to deal with this threat that is going to be in the box. He doesn't run wide and pick up balls on the flanks all the time, because we already got players out wide on an attacking duty who will do that job. Then we also have a player that's going to attack between the half spaces, a Mazala. This is adequate support for the wide target man. If he receives the ball, he can release the Mazala. This forces any DMs to track towards this direction. It creates more space and options for the RAUMDEUTER, because now the RAUMDEUTER is left with a 1v1 situation with the defender in most cases. What about using other roles in the final third? Of course, you can use other roles if your team is better. As you can see, this is a tactic that's played at a higher tempo. We want to play the game really quickly. We are not a very good team, but if I was a much better team, I could probably use an F9 here or a DLF on support who can drop deep with the players drawing defenders away, but I will probably need to lower my composure and get better players who are very good at keeping the ball. Now, that's one way of making the RAUMDEUTER work potentially in a 4-3-3. How would you make the RAUMDEUTER work in a 4-2-3-1? I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear how you set that up. Let me know in the comments below. I look forward to hearing from you. I hope you enjoyed this short little guide on the RAUMDEUTER. We continue the RAUMDEUTER on our next episode. You guys stay safe, take care. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.